I welcome you again to Marriage That Works, where we have the mandate to help put our marriages in the right perspective, God's perspective, by teaching and encouraging values which we believe will help transform our marriages from the necessary evil we have thought it to be to what God intends for us. I am very happy to meet you again on this episode with another insightful topic, which I believe will further strengthen your marriage. So I encourage you to take a very comfortable position and together let's add some more building blocks to our homes. Conflicts and emotional hurts are unavoidable in every long-term committed relationship. What makes a healthy relationship, however, is the ability to resolve issues when they arise in ways that foster intimacy. I will be highlighting few ways that a husband and the wife hurt each other, sometimes without knowing. I will encourage us to watch out for such in our relationships so that going forward we can begin to take caution. First, we will look at few ways husbands hurt their wives. Thereafter, we will see also ways that wives hurt their husbands. So here are a few ways you may be hurting your wife without realizing it. 1. By disregarding her opinion. When you act as if your wife's opinion or contributions are not necessary in your decision-making process, especially in matters that affect her and or the home, she feels really hurt. Your marriage to her is a partnership, so let it be treated as such. Number 2, you hurt your wife really bad when you do not appreciate her. Your wife wants to be appreciated for both who she is and what she does. She wants and in fact needs you to show her that she is valued. When you fail to do that, you hurt her spirit. A third way you hurt your wife is by shouting at her. Whether you do it in the presence of her children or publicly, you weaken her self-esteem. You make her feel worthless, and that sure doesn't leave in her a good feeling towards you. You also hurt your wife by correcting her while she is talking. Either you complete a statement or you speak out for her in the presence of others. Whenever you don't give her the chance to express her thoughts, she feels humiliated. You also hurt your wife when you try to change her. Trying to force your wife to fit into the image of that perfect wife you carry in your head is really hurting. When you do that, you are simply telling her loud and clear that she's not good enough the way she is and she is not good enough for you. Stop criticizing her personality, her interests, and passions. Those are the fundamental things that form her entire being. Love the woman you chose to marry for who she is. Another way you hurt your wife is by not spending time with her. Majority of married men fail in this area. They just hurt their wife's feelings through neglect. The very first reason you married was for companionship, to cherish each other's company. I'm not asking you to spend every moment with her. That's not even possible. All I'm saying is that you should learn to give her the gift of you every time possible. One last way I'm going to mention by which you hurt your wife really bad is giving her sex without intimacy. Do you just have sex with your wife when actually what she craves for is that you make love to her? Sexuality in marriage means more than just having sex and fulfilling your own pleasures. It means to love your wife in ways she desires to be loved. It means being affectionate towards her and making her feel like she's the only person that's important in your life. Hear this. Your wife doesn't just want sex from you. She desires intimacy. Your wife's tender nature gets easily bruised in more ways than you can imagine. Therefore, there is need for you to deal with her very carefully like you would with an egg. I urge you to find out from her ways that you have hurt her and genuinely make amends. I bet you will love what you will begin to experience in your home thereafter. Now it's time to talk to my fellow wives. I want to show you some of those things you do to your husbands that hurt them deeply, hoping that you will take them in good faith and begin to make amends too. The first way I'm going to show you, dear wife, by which you hurt your husband is by scolding him like you were his mother. Most women possess this maternal instinct, but the biggest error we make is to apply this to our spouses. They simply don't understand why we would correct and even discipline them in the same manner that we do with our own children. When your husband does anything, for instance, you may yell at him, "Why do you always act like this?" That must stop immediately. You make your spouse feel weak and imply that he is still a child when you correct him as though you were his mother. Another way you hurt your husband is by complaining about what you do not yet have. Every right-thinking man has the desire to provide for his wife and his family. When he's trying his best, but the best seems not to be enough, he feels like a failure already. So you make matters really worse for him and make him carry the blame, even when you do not intend him to, by the time you start to lament about the things he is yet to provide, the comfort you lack in the home, or what other women have that you don't have. A similar way to point number 2 earlier mentioned, by which you really hurt your husband, is not appreciating his efforts. One of the easiest ways to really hurt your husband's self-esteem is to fail to appreciate him and or what he does. Dear wife, you have hurt that man long enough by taking him for granted. Please, turn a new leaf today. Appreciate him for who he is, for working so hard to put food on the table, and for paying the bills. Stop saying it's his responsibility. There are men who leave these things for their wives to do. You also hurt your husband by not giving him enough attention. Many women neglect their husbands consciously or unconsciously once they start having children, assuming that the husband doesn't need as much attention or that he should understand the situation. A man also gets hurt when he is not getting enough attention from his wife. He feels he's losing his relevance in his wife's life. Be sure to create time often when you can to give him undivided attention. Don't always be too exhausted to focus on the man you fell in love with before the arrival of those children. You also hurt your husband by not trusting his judgment. When you consistently check in on your husband to see whether or not a project has been completed, even when it is out of a sincere heart and genuine concern that things be done correctly, you leave your husband with that feeling that you don't believe is capable, and that hurts his ego so badly. A wife should learn to trust her husband and be willing to always give him the benefit of a doubt. That way, you'll help him build confidence in areas where he might be having doubts in himself. No matter what your husband's physique may be, he feels hurt in more ways than you think. Although he might not always speak out when he is upset, most men don't. Wisdom requires that you should get familiar with the way he expresses himself. You will be happier when you understand your husband's emotions and can better avoid those things that hurt him. So I will encourage you also, dear wife, to inquire from your husband ways that you have hurt him. Take whatever he tells you in good faith, without defiance, and with a determination to get better. I tell you, you will begin to enjoy that husband of yours in ways you could never imagine, and you will be happier for it. Please reach out to me. Let me hear your testimonies of the positive impact this channel is having on your marriage. If you need help with your marriage, do well to also contact me, and through God's help, we will find solution to the challenges you are facing in your home. Till I come your way again, peace be upon your home.